Oil isn't just a commodity. It's power, it's leverage, it's history in motion. After World War II, we entered a golden age of energy. Prices sat between $25 and $35 per barrel for over 2 decades. Prices are in today's values, inflation adjusted. That's cheap, that's stable. But in 1973, the Arabian Oil Embargo hit, and prices didn't just rise, they quadrupled in 6 months. Then came the 1979 Iranian Revolution. Production collapsed, panic spread, oil surged past $130 per barrel. High prices triggered a response, mainly new supply from Alaska and the North Sea, and with better efficiency in the US, over 50% improvement in efficiency, that led to too much oil. By 1985, Saudi Arabia had enough. They flooded the market. Prices crashed from $80 to under $30 in just a year. Then came the 2000s. China and India surged, demand exploded. Oil climbed to $200 per barrel in 2008. Again, we are using inflation-adjusted figures. Record highs. Then the Great Recession. The financial crisis wiped out demand. Prices collapsed. During the 2020 COVID-19 pandemic, it happened all over. Demand vanished. Now fast forward to April 2026. This time feels a bit different, but also a bit similar to what we've been reading about and looking at. A major conflict involving the US, Israel, and Iran has triggered one of the most severe energy shocks in history, right, as seen here. At the center of it all is the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow passage that carries about 20% of the world's oil. And right now, it's effectively closed. That's an 8 million barrel per day shortfall of global demand. That is not cheap, and that is not small. Prices are reacting fast. US crude near $114, gas above $4 a gallon, pain at the pump, real world impact immediately. Now the pressure shifts to the Federal Reserve, led by Jerome Powell. And the question is simple, what do you do? Inflation is already above target, oil is surging again, growth is slowing. Do you fight inflation or do you protect jobs? There's no easy answer. And then comes another escalation. After failed negotiations, the US began a naval blockade of Iranian ports, a major move. Now there's a split in the oil market. Future prices say one thing, but physical oil says a whole other different story. Real Brent crude barrels just traded above $144. That's a $35 premium compared to future commodities prices. They're paying whatever it takes right now to have that barrel of oil. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Oil shocks don't just hit gas stations. They ripple through the entire financial system. Airlines, crushed by fuel costs. Trucking and shipping, prices spike overnight. Food, more expensive because diesel powers everything from farm equipment to delivery, not to even mention the increased cost of fertilizer. Fertilizer is one of the most overlooked goods of an oil shock. Modern fertilizers, especially nitrogen-based ones, are heavily dependent on natural gas as both a feedstock and an energy source. So when energy prices surge, fertilizer costs follow almost immediately. And in a disruption tied to the Strait of Hormuz, where a huge portion of global energy supply flows, that pressure intensifies fast. Farmers suddenly face sharply higher input costs right before planting season. Some cut back on fertilizer use altogether, and that leads to lower crop yields, less supply, higher food prices. It's a chain reaction. Oil spikes don't just stay in energy markets. They move straight into agriculture and from there into your grocery bills. And then there's psychology. When consumers see rising gas prices, they pull back, spend less, save more. That slowdown spreads. Markets start pricing in fear. Energy stocks surge, growth stocks stumble and tumble. And there's another layer, strategic reserves. Governments can release oil to stabilize prices, but only for so long. The US has done it before, big headlines, but with temporary relief. And if the supply disruption continues, which means the market has to rebalance the hard way and the old school way, the laissez-faire Adam Smith way, and that's through higher prices, which means reduced demand. So what happens next, it all comes down to time. Is this a short conflict? Prices fall. Is this a long disruption? It's a whole different story. If oil stays where it's at, we enter demand destruction. That's when consumption drops because people simply can't afford to drive. They can't afford to go on vacation. They can't afford to go out to eat. They can't afford to go look for a new car. And because of that, that's when recessions begin. The US is stronger than ever before as a net energy exporter, but it doesn't matter as much as you think it does. Oil touches everything: shipping, food, manufacturing, all of the goods and services required of daily life. So once again, the global economy is watching one narrow stretch of water waiting. Will diplomacy reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or are we entering a new era of energy-driven stagflation? If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you.